There's an idea that environmental elements are capable of storing traces of human thought and emotions. It is said that mental impressions during emotional or traumatic events can be projected in the form of energy and recorded onto rocks and other items, and they get replayed under certain conditions. This is called stone tape theory. There are two main reasons that I personally believe this to be possible. Some of the examples are quantum communication and water, my favourite subject. So first, quantum communication. Here we have crystals. Crystal memory, the storage of quantum information in light. Light makes for a great carrier of information. Think of fibre optics in telecommunications. Quantum communication is no different. The storage devices, or crystals, were nicknamed Superman memory crystals, and they consisted of nanoscale dots that were embedded by a laser in the layers of the quartz. The dots encode data in 5 dimensions: size, orientation, and 3D placement. The technique was first demonstrated in 2013 when researchers used it to record a 300 kilobyte text file. Okay, so sure, this is crystal and it was modified, but the mere fact that the stone can actually do this is pretty amazing, right? Given enough time and contact with a person, our energy gets imprinted into the stone, because the ability to absorb memory is latent in that stone in the first place. But is it limited to quartz crystal? If light touches all things, energy permeates all things. So I think it is possible that the memory can be absorbed by all that is around you. Light being the carrier and energy being the source of memory, being infused in everything around us. Now my favourite subject. Secondly is water. There were experiments done with water, and although an unproven claim, water memory contradicts current scientific understanding of physical chemistry, so it's not generally accepted by the scientific community. They simply don't want to have to do the hard yards of fixing their beliefs or theories because it tends to upset other theories. And then they have to go backwards and forwards to re-examine everything that they had in the first place. So in other words, science doesn't like to be proven wrong. The fact is, the idea of memory of water arose in a laboratory in the late 1980s, and 20 years later the debate is still going on, even though an increasing number of scientists report that they have confirmed the basic results. Water, just like energy, permeates everything. The brain and the heart are composed of 73% water, and the lungs are about 83% of water. The skin contains 64% of water, muscles and kidneys are 79%, and even the bones are watery, 31%. Everything on Earth, including rocks, contain water. Water does have memory. It remembers every touch, every breath, and every chemical it comes into contact with. The river carries the evidence of your touch, and the touch of all life forms that live within and around you. All of our thoughts and emotions, in the form of energy, match the vibration of water. It's equal and capable of infusing all objects we connect with physically. So with light, water, and energy, the imprinting of memory into earthly objects is possible. This is what the internet is for. The information is out there. You just have to do your own research. Don't take my word for things. Have a look and see what you can come up with. Anyhow, going back to the stone tape theory. Imagine yourself in a far-off future. You are part of an urban explorer group, and you come across this circular structure which we know as a stadium. You walk into the middle of a big field, and a whoosh of energy rushes past you. You hear some sort of a thud, and then very heavy feet running in the opposite direction. As you walk towards some very tall pillars that we know as goalposts, you hear 1,000 voices roar in cheer. What's going on? Why are you hearing and feeling this information? Is it a football match or a stadium where people suffered terrible torture? Well, maybe it's both. I think with the way some people worship the game, oh no, it's the end of my world. My team lost in the pain and the tragedy. Oh my gosh. Oh well, always next season. So have you ever walked into a newly built house and felt nothing but its stately presence of being? And then you walk into an abandoned or empty house that had long been lived in, and you feel the sense of it being pre-loved. Do you get subtle visions of or feelings of the things that went on there? Does it feel welcoming or threatening, like it's not your place? Even in your own home, why does your family room feel different to the kitchen, and the kitchen feel different to the bedrooms, and the bedrooms feel different to the bathrooms? I'm not talking visually, I'm talking about feeling. If you go into each room with your eyes closed and just stand for a moment and feel out the energy. What are your thoughts on each room? What does it feel like to you? Do you feel your own energy? Do you feel a foreign energy? Is it a good balance of both or more of the other? In this way, energy is speaking to you. If you're sensitive enough, you're peeking into a memory, a pre-existing condition of possibly long forgotten pasts. I've even done this in the backyard, and I felt the presence of traditional owners standing beside me, and they were telling me the story of their existence in that very area. That is stone tape theory. Wherever a lot of energy was dispersed, be it positive or negative, the energy was recorded with the help of light and water. It has permeated the area with memory. In America, here are a few examples. Ghostly cries and apparitions continue to haunt these fields. Look at the list. In Scotland, castle hauntings. Look at all the stone capable of retaining the memory. Stirling Castle in Stirling. Dryburgh Abbey Hotel, Scottish borders. Edinburgh Vaults, Edinburgh, just to name a couple. And there's battlefields too, like that of Culloden Moor in Inverness. In Australia, we have the Devil's Pool in Babinda, Queensland, Monte Cristo Homestead in Junee, New South Wales, Port Arthur in Tasmania, now there's a good one, and that's had 2 unfortunate incidents to create a paranormal hotspot. The last example is a place that is only an hour's drive away from me, and it's the township of Walhalla in Victoria. Once one of Australia's richest towns and home to over 4,000 gold seekers. To understand my theory, try going there. Just ignore all the visual feasts of old buildings and wares and just stand in the street, or better still, go to one of the parks early in the morning before the energy of others touch and taint the atmosphere. feel and listen, and you will be guaranteed to begin to understand what I'm talking about. Sometimes we refer to that feeling of memory as being nostalgic, but it's much, much more than that. If that doesn't work for you, go up to the cemetery. Find a spot to just sit down and meditate on the silence. You'll have an experience there for sure. Everyone does. So that's all for this video. More food for thought. What do you think of these videos? I'd love to hear some feedback. Do you enjoy these videos? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you and stay safe.